right in the kisser.
Hey, how the devil are you? Oh, why are you order to the moon? Anyway, right, so a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, maybe longer, maybe a bit less, I can't remember. That's what happens with old age. I reviewed the Fosi Audio i5s. I thought they were a cracking headphones. Sounded really clear, very detailed, lovely highs. I did think they were lacking a bit in the bass, but I thought the bass they had was quite punchy. I didn't have any issues, and I just used a bit of EQ just to turn the bass up tone controls, give it a bit more bass. But apparently, some reviewers have pointed out that it's lacking sub bass, and I'll tell you why it's lacking sub bass later on in the video. So, Fosi, unlike some Western sort of hi-fi manufacturers who get really arsey and their egos are too big, and they start trying to sue you if you tell bad things about their product. Not Fosi. That's what I like about the Chinese manufacturers. They listen and they go, oh, right, okay, so you think it lacks a bit of sub bass. Let's do something about it, rather than trying to demonetize your video, get your video taken down, or copyright strike it, or sue you even. And that's happened quite a few times over the last couple of years. No, not Fosi. They said, let's try and rectify that, and we're going to do something about it, which I'll explain with this kit later on in the video. But before I go on to that, it is a Friday. You know, I do like a beer on a Friday. Beer Fridays, of course. Don't have a beer today. What I do have, though, is a bit of Jack Daniels. Oh, you know it. Now, don't be calling Jack Daniels no bourbon, okay? It's a sour mash, a Tennessee whiskey. The people in Tennessee will kick right off, okay? Do you know what? It's not far from Chattanooga. Now, where do I know that name? Where do I know that name, Chattanooga? I can't think at all.
Pardon me, boy. Yes, yes. Is that the Chattanooga choo-choo?
It's gone. I can't remember. Anyway, right. So, oh, you know it. I do like a Maker's Mark as well, but Jack Daniels is a nice sour mash. Remember, sour mash, Tennessee whiskey. There we go. Oh, just a little bit. I've got to disassemble these headphones in a second. I can't be too wasted, okay? Anyway, let's bring you in for a closer look. Oh. And there you are. Not much to see, really. So let me tell you what the alleged issue is, okay? Now, so on here, these pads are stuck on with Velcro. Let's get this one off. They're not easy to get off. Once they're on, they're good. There you go. So you can see there, that's stuck on with Velcro. Now, what they're saying is this piece here, where the Velcro's stuck on, you're getting sub-bass leakage from around this area here because of the Velcro. So, what Fosi have done in the newer models, the models that are going out now, is to put this on. So you can see here, there. So you can see that they've put a rubber O-ring around here. So let me show you the difference. Okay. So all I need to do for these ones is take these off here, okay, and put this on. It looks pretty straightforward. I can't see it being that hard, can you? If I mess it up, I mess it up. But I don't want to because I love these headphones. Now, I do want to give you guys a taste of whether it sounds more bassy or not. So I realized that these are quite big headphones and my mic fits in these headphones pretty decently, okay? So what I've done, I've recorded a track before I've put these on. And once I've put these on, I'll record another track to see if there's any difference in the bass. Now, it's only going to be mono. It's only a mono mic. However, we're only looking at the bass. We're not looking for stereo separation, sound stage and highs. We just want to monitor the bass. So the mono track should be absolutely fine to see if there's a difference in bass. I'd be interested to see if there is. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's get these apart and see if this O-ring makes a difference. Look how shaky my hands are. Oh, there you go. They come off quite easily. Let's not lose these little screws. I might speed this up. There you go. So there you can see the difference in the two, one with and one without the O-ring. Pretty simple upgrade really. Let's hope it's effective. Right, let's put this in. I think it can go in either way. Hey. Okay, there we are. Now I'm just going to pinch them up a little bit, not too tight. I don't want to damage the threads. There we are. That was pretty easy. And then this just flips, this just goes back on here now. Just make sure I get it right. Okay, let's get the other one done, and then we'll give it a test run. Okay, all done, and they're still working. I didn't break them. Woohoo. Right, so moment of truth. Well, I did a test track before and after with one microphone inside, and it's not, I couldn't hear much of a difference. Before I say anything else, have a quick listen to this test track. I've only recorded a minute of it, but have a listen. Let me know your thoughts. I'll give you mine after the test track. Here we go. Could you hear much of a difference? Not really on that test track, not really at all. However, it might just be the mic and the headphones, you know, I don't know, right? But I thought I bought this just before I got these headphones. And this is Duran Duran's first album. I was really confused because I think this came out in 1981. Now, this is one of my favourite albums of Duran Duran. It's a bit darker than the ones that followed. It's a bit John Carpenter-like, you know, that type of theme, a bit darker, those dark electronics. I really liked it. However, this copy confused me because it has, is there something I should know on it? Which kind of doesn't fit in with the rest of the tracks. Because I can't remember that being on there. And then I found out that this was a re-release in 1983 in the US version this is, and they put, is there something I should know on there? But it doesn't really fit in. It's not a bad track, but it just didn't really fit in with the theme. But there we are. Some useless trivia for you. Anyway, I like this album a lot, and I thought it'd be good to test it because I was listening to this on these headphones prior to doing the upgrade and also following the upgrade. And this is a good album to test, the bass especially, because it's very, very punchy. I listened to the track Careless Memories. With Careless Memory. Okay. And that was a really good, you couldn't tell the difference in, could you? You couldn't. Me and Simon Le Bon, exactly the same.
No way.
And I like that track because it's got very hard, heavy bass kick drums. And, you know, from memory, but this from memory can be a bit, can it? You know what I mean? But I did feel that there was a bit more oomph in the bass. I did feel it. So I don't know whether it's a placebo effect or not. But I did think that the bass on this album sounded a bit more fuller. Not so much on the test track though. And again, it might be the mic, I don't know. So it could be one or two things. You know, maybe people assumed that they heard something in the sub bass which it wasn't there, or it was there, and, you know, and it needed repairing. But I'm not sure. But look, these headphones sounded great before the upgrade, and they sound great now. I can still thoroughly recommend them, and they still get my UTV stamp of approval. Anyway, that's come to the end of the video. Don't forget, if you got this far, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't. If you're watching this, you're not subscribed, you're going to miss all my Friday night beers. Come on, sort it out, subscribe. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one.